Hi everybody, and welcome to Manny's Makings, and this is, I believe, part 5 of the How to Make Chain series. So today we're going to make registered chain, and I didn't want to do a ton of bracelets again in these, so I wanted to show you some differences, because I'm going to show you how to make these, just part of it, and then I'm going to show you what you can do with this chain. So first of all, this is a 2-inch piece in 18 gauge, and as you can see, it's quite supple. It does have a bump on the back. As you can see, it looks like a wave at the back, and it's really strong, and it's very masculine looking. So if you wanted to do something that was a little more sturdy for a guy, definitely would work. Would be kind of fun. This is in a different metal, and I made this a little rounder. This one is 1-inch pieces, and you can see it's a really great thing you can use for the end of something, to make something to hook into. It's a really great element that's a piece that's great. That's just a jump ring, and it turned it around. So this is a 1-inch piece, and it's really quite supple and moves quite easily, and this makes it a little finer looking. It's just a different style of chain if you want something simple. So it's called a register chain. Now I started playing with it, and this is in 20 gauge, and this is 3/4 of an inch. So I wanted to see how small I could get it, and this is, whoops, you can see that's quite delicate looking, the smaller you get, and it's really easy chain to make. And this is a modification that I made. So I twisted the register chain before I put it together, and it makes it completely different looking again. And so again, it's so much fun. This particular element is what it's all at. So I have a 2-inch piece of wire. Today you're going to need whatever gauge wire you want to use, and anywhere from 1 inch. I wouldn't recommend starting at 1 inch. I would recommend starting at 2 inches or 1.5 inches. And you're going to need flat nose pliers. You're going to need your wire straighteners to straighten your wire before you start. You're going to need round nose pliers for sure, and you're going to need your flat nose flush cutters or nippers to be able to cut the wire and keep it nice and straight. So I'm going to show you how to do this modification. So this is a bit of a twist. I've added a twist to this, and I put Swarovski crystals in there and just wire wrap them on. And you have this beautiful, let me just show you here. Beautiful earring that hangs, and it's lovely. Let's get the other one, and we have a set. So you have a set of wonderful dangly earrings. They dangle quite nicely. They're quick and easy to make. Would be great for sales, craft sales. People would pick them up easily, quickly, depending on the metal you use. So super easy. Okay, and those were done in 18 gauge. I'm going to do this in 20 gauge. So you're going to recognize this. This is so familiar now if you've been watching my How to Make Chain series at all. And I'm going to start with the traditional, let's make a loop going the other way and make it touch. Woohoo! Now this first link is the easiest one. And then you make the chain going the same way. So this time, the chain, this loop here and the other loop have to match. So I'm going to make sure that I make the chain going the same way. And this loop has to be big enough to fit whatever gauge wire you're using. So if I was using an 18 gauge or 16 gauge wire, this loop couldn't be the very tip of my pliers, that the wire wouldn't fit through for the next link. So really important that you make sure you make the loop the right size for whatever gauge wire you're trying to use, okay? So basically what I want to do is just make this lovely and round. So I'm taking it down to the biggest part of my pliers. I'm sort of centering it in the middle, as you can see. I don't want to hit the square part of my pliers, which is a real pain because it messes up my wire. And I'm just going to pull with these loops are facing down as much as I can. They are going to tweak a bit, but that's okay. You're going to pull it towards the center, and the aim is to try to get these two ends to line up. And you could push more this way or push more this way around your pliers. It doesn't really matter, to get them to be the same length. Okay, so I have this lovely weird looking thing. They're not quite the same length. I can tweak them a little bit more if I need to. long as they're close, you're good. Okay? So then you're going to take this wire and you're going to cross over the two ends. I'm just crossing one over, and I'm just crossing always in the same direction. Whoop, I bent that too far. Just crossing over the two ends, and then I'm going to take my flat nose pliers. Remember I told you you needed them. Your chain nose pliers. And I'm just going to take this and straighten the tip. See if I can get this closer so you can see it. I'm just taking it and straightening the tip so that they're laying beside each other level. Now, it's not level, so I got to round it out again. And that's the hardest part of this chain, is to make sure that this is all level. And it's because I bent this wire funny. There we go. Okay. So that's basically your loop, their piece of the two pieces that you put your crystal in. So this is how you put the second one on. And I'm just making sure, as you can see, it sort of bent the one wire over the other wire, so these two round rings are equal and level with each other. I can see through the holes of the two of them, see right down and into it. Let me see if I can get this to focus. There you go. So you can see that it's nice and level, round, you're happy with it. It's an element, okay? So you could use this by itself, or you could use it with a second one. So let's do a second one. And I didn't cut that off properly, the tip, because I can tell, I can see it. It flashes on me in a weird way, and I lost that little, there it is, the little piece. Never good. So we're making a loop, like we always do. Okay, and this time you don't make your second loop yet. This time you need to stick this element on that element and just let it hang. So I just stuck it through the two holes and put it in there. Now I need to make the second loop going the same direction as the first loop. So my first loop is here. Let me come in. I'm bringing it up, so why don't I just zoom this in a bit. Okay, let's not go too crazy. So my first loop is facing this direction. This is hanging on there, just hanging out. And I have to make this loop face the same direction. So I'm going to have to make this loop go this way, around this way, right? So just hold it so that you're putting the loop in the right direction. And then you make it go around. Whether you pull the wire or move your pliers, whatever is easier for you. So now I have this bar with the two, and if these aren't the same, just, you know, move them so that this on the same plane. Okay, so I have the two loops, I have this thing hanging out on it, and I'm going to ignore this, pretend it's not even there, and I'm just going to shove it down to one end, and I'm going to do the same process of taking my thing. So see, it's not, mine wasn't quite level with each other, so I just tweaked it, and I'm going to find sort of the middle point. It doesn't have to be exact. Woo, it's kind of fun, eh? And I'm going to put this around, try to figure out where the middle is. I'm pretty close. Not perfect, but close. And then I'm going to bend this towards each other. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but this end here is needing to come around much more. So I'm repositioning my pliers. The idea is to get the ends as even as you can, and if they're not quite even, you pull this one out a bit, pull this one in a bit, till you get it even. Okay, so I'm pretty even. I'm happy. Okay, move that down to the middle. Alright, and then we cross the two wires over. So it doesn't matter what you do one way or the other way, but I think it looks best when you do them both the same, like always, like the bottom one over the top one, or the top one over the bottom one. Keep it consistent. And I'm just going to take my flat nose pliers now and tweak these in so that they lay beside each other. And I can see it's not quite on, so that's okay. I'm going to pull this way. Pull this way, try to line them up. So now I have the two elements, and you can make this spacing wider if you want. The only thing you have to watch out is if you get this spacing too wide for whatever new piece you're putting it on, it'll jam up in it and it won't swing around freely. But see, now I have the two pieces, and I'm going to bring this in a bit more here. There we go. The two pieces that I put my crystals on. So let me show you the ones with the crystals on them again. So there's the two pieces. Whoop, sliding around on me. Woohoo! Sit still. Okay. So there's the two pieces, exactly like you see on this one. Except this is a heavier gauge, just the next gauge up. And then I put the Swarovski crystals in, one each. And then I added a jump ring to the top and a wonderful fish hook for my earring finding. And there we go. So, and I just did 4 wraps with the silver wire and put the crystal in, and they hang lovely. Look, like they move really well. You can see the crystal from both sides, so there's no ugly side. Super easy to make. So that's your fly eye chain. Now to make this funkier one, let's see if I can find the example of it. This one here, I took it one step further. I thought, what would happen? How do I make more space in it? So this is how I want you to make the basic element, and then I want you to play with it, okay? And be adventurous. So I took my pliers and went, oh, well, if I stick my pliers in here, my round nose pliers, if I can get them to go in that cross, and I bring it down, I have this, right? And then if I could take these two and bring them back around and touch each other, I now have a space. So that changes the look again. See how that's different from that? So you can play with this as much as you want. I hope you have a lot of fun. If you like these quickie little videos that give you little bits and pieces that you can add to your jewelry making, please like, share, and subscribe. All the list of what you need is always below. And keep on making from Manny's Makings. Take care.